Okay, it is Tuesday, November 22nd. And yes, another pause in my weekly recordings. Once again, one thing led to another, and directions got all fouled up.
We were going to bingo parlor at the YMCA. Well, one thing led to another, and the instructions got all fouled up.
But shit happens. I actually did try to make it out last week, but nope. The weather was fucking ridiculous. Freezing, windy, raining, not to mention also hot as balls a couple of the days before that. Huh? But, you know, must be climate change. Had nothing to do with all the spray in the sky before that. Go! Anyway, 54 degrees today. Fucking beautiful in here. No spray. Maybe a slight breeze, a little chill. Absolutely gorgeous day. And being gone for 2 weeks, I mean, we had the elections and, you know, what a joke everything is. But if you can't see after that, it's funny, I guess it was 3 days after the election. I'm going through at night trying to find a movie or something to put on for my nighttime relaxing. And I keep seeing election coverage, you know, on the fucking guide.
And now for another fast-breaking news story, we go to our roving reporter, Kermit the Frog.
And I said, you know, the election's 3 days ago. This has been still election coverage. And that's when I found out, oh, no, they didn't. They're still counting.
I thought he was going to shit.
I was like, oh, they're still counting. Like, they made it so silly. And, again, that's all on purpose. Blah, blah, blah. Right at the exact moment when Elon Musk has returned Trump to Twitter for everyone to divert their attention to and have one side feel that they have their hero back in play while the other side has their villain. So Trump's back on Twitter, and just in time to get everyone arguing and fighting and distracted, and you know, while these lunatics that are going to be in for the next 2 years bring in as much destruction and nonsense as they can. Oddly enough, too, the FTX crash happening just before this, which of course a little bit of investigation reveals all of this money was being laundered into the Democratic Party, into the Ukraine, you know, all the people that connect to this FTX organization. Not, Bankman Fried or whatever. Fried Bankman. What's his name? Steve or John Bankman. It's like a fucking South Park creation.
We can put that check in a money market mutual fund. Then we'll reinvest the earnings into foreign currency accounts with compounding interest, and it's gone.
You know, Bankman Fried or Freed or whatever the fuck. And that chick.
Good times never seem so good. I've been inclined.
You know, that were the front men and women for the, platform, discussing all this, you know, as if it were some random thing, when the reality of it is, it was a Ponzi scheme and a purposeful thing, just like the other crypto crashes that have occurred, and the ones that are to occur. Because this is all going to be part of the introduction of regulations and all the things they want to put on cryptos as they steer and try to put everyone towards the Fed coin that will be connected to the social credit score, which, by the way, so much has happened over these past 2 weeks. The G20 summit has brought up the need for such a passport when it comes to the next big pandemic.
So let's have a digital health certificate.
Who the hell is that?
Acknowledged by WHO. If you have been vaccinated or tested properly, then you can move around.
The donga need
So for
food.
the next pandemic, instead of stopping the movement of the people 100%,
Who the hell is this asshole?
economy globally, you can still provide some movement of the people. Indonesia has achieved, G20 country has agreed to have this digital certificate using WHO standard, and we will submit it to the next World Health Assembly in Geneva as the revision to international health regulation. So hopefully for the next pandemic, we can still see some movement of the people, some movement of the goods, and movement of the economy.
And the digital passport that will include, things necessary to make sure you're healthy and to keep you safe, of course.
Following the conclusion of the G20, a paper titled 2022 G20 Bali Update on the G20 Action Plan on the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and G20 Development Commitments has been distributed by the conference. And it turns out that G20 leaders have adopted a joint declaration calling for the establishment of a global digital health network that builds on existing digital COVID-19 vaccine passports during a conference.
Which will, of course, be stretched into the social credit system, which will police behavior and give scores and deny access to people who do not comply with, giving autonomy of their mind and body over to someone else. They don't want to do that. So therefore, their digital passport won't let them in to get groceries or board the train or, take part in society in any kind of way that is deemed required by those that are trying to own the mind and body of their subjects. There's a million people in here. I keep looking around for bikes and shit. There's a million people in here today because it's fucking beautiful. So you have to bear with my distraction. I don't want to get fucking run over. It's almost happened many times. As I've even shown on here. So, what else is going on?
First, of course, if we look at all the challenges, we can speak about the multi-crisis. An economic, a political, a social, an ecological, an institutional crisis. But actually, what we have to confront is a deep, systemic, and structural restructuring of our world. And this will take some time. And the world will look differently after we have gone through this transition process. Politically, the driving forces for this political transformation,
Sit down!
of course, is the transition into a multipolar world, which has a tendency to make our world much more fragmented. For these reasons,
What are you, deaf? I said sit down.
like this one, the G20, and so on, are the very important connectors to avoid a too great segmentation, I would say, localization instead of globalization of our
So there's that clown show. Here's one of the number one clowns, Bill Gates.
Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated!
It's great to see the G20's commitment to advancing an equitable response to the pandemic. Now is the time for global leadership, solidarity, and responsibility.
I mean, yo, man, how is he, like, stop and look at this. How is this guy up here dictating global policy?
And a lack of willingness to say, you know, is spending $1 million on that last 3 months of life for that patient, would it be better not to lay off those 10 teachers and to make that trade-off in medical costs? But that's called the death panel, and you're not supposed to have that discussion.
Oh my God, it's all such a joke. And again, you know, people that are not ready for all this, they're already manufacturing shortages in the wake of the coming shortages. So they're purposely creating shortages on top of the shortages that are coming. In Britain or the UK, they're having egg shortages that are purposely being done.
So when you go into a supermarket now, you might see that there is a bit of an egg shortage. So not many eggs on the shelf to buy, not free range, not organic, nothing. So you're struggling to find eggs. Supermarkets are going to tell you this is because of avian flu. Which, to be fair, there has been a lot of cases of avian flu. But do you want to know the real reason why there's an egg shortage? It's because the supermarkets won't pay the farmers for the eggs. So the supermarkets have upped their price for you, the consumer. But they haven't filtered that price increase down to us, the farmers. So our cost of producing these eggs has skyrocketed. Feed, electric, the price of new birds, that's gone up. But our price of eggs has stayed the same. So we physically can't afford to produce these eggs. So currently there's been 8 million less free-range hens ordered for next year's flocks. So that's just under 8 million eggs every day that we're not going to be producing. So that's 8 million eggs less every single day that we don't produce. And we're already 3 million eggs short of being self-sufficient. So the UK have to import 3 million eggs every day to feed the nation. And now we're losing another 8 million birds because the supermarkets won't pay us. And they're going to blame the farmers. They'll be like, oh, well, the farmers should just stock them and produce you great British food. But we can't afford to.
I mean, you know, look at that and realize that this is not a benevolent group of people that are here to manage infrastructure and do the very best for its people, you know. These are a group of tyrannical rulers who want to keep everyone subjugated and who are now going to seize control over all the resources based on what's going on, including your own mind and body, by telling you what you have to think and what you have to put into it and what you cannot put into it. Of course, we've been going through that one for years or decades already, haven't we? You know, I mean, this is who these people are, and it's going to get so much worse, especially over the next 2 years, while this lunatic, I mean, it's always fun to check in with him.
President Biden gave a speech at Fern-Hollowed Creek in Pittsburgh, and again showed America, and indeed the world, that he is a man who knows what he's doing.
Over $1.2 trillion, $200 billion.
$1 billion, $200 billion, $1 trillion, no one's quite sure what he meant. But you know, I'm sure that was the only muddled part of the speech. The rest was crystal clear.
And Bobby, I promised you, he'd been on my back to get this done since I got elected president. Don't forget the lockjaw. So I just think, I'm not sure how we're going to do this, but so long as I couldn't say no.
I don't know what he means, but he wasn't done there. Then the president made this incredible claim.
My grandfather, Finnegan Scranton, would really be proud of me right now. No, I'm not joking, he would. By the way, he was an All-American football player, John, in Santa Clara.
No, he wasn't an All-American football player. When Joe says, I'm not joking, he means I'm lying. There are many, many examples of those words being uttered by the president at the end of a verifiable lie. And it wouldn't be a Joe Biden speech without a confused walk-off. abuse at this point. We shouldn't laugh.
This is the guy that, of course, all of this buffoonery, it's a perfect scapegoat to blame all of this shit on and to have everyone sit back. Everyone is sitting back right now and waiting for Trump 2024. The flags are already up all around here where I live. So, anyway, I think I'll about leave it there. It's very crowded in here. I keep running into people and having to stop recording and say hello and talk to people. So, it's a bit disruptive. So, I'm probably very all over the place this video. But it's like I said, it's been 2 weeks. So much happens in that period of time that I'm going to be all over the place trying to somehow, highlight some of the things. I obviously ain't going to be able to get to everything because, that's not what I do anyway. I just point out some of the lunacy. I try to make fun of the blatant attempt to shit on everyone's freedom and to insult everyone's intelligence that goes on when it comes to things like this election and these G20 summits that are going on in front of everyone's face. And just to get people to try to realize that it is just that. It's lunacy, it's hilarious, but it's also insulting to one's intelligence. And if you can realize these things and put them together with a bout of courage, it then becomes much easier to say no and not comply with your own enslavement. And that's the goal, is to get people in a mindset of doing that. Because this division is going to continue. This, presentation of Trump as the hero is going to be more and more fueled. The division is going to be more and more fueled. You're going to see false flags left and right. You had, I think, what was it, a missile land in Poland that they tried to blame on Russia that turned out to be from the Ukraine. Like, that disappeared in the news. It was in there quick, and then it disappeared, but it was so obvious that was a Ukrainian missile. It just disappeared. They're going to keep doing stupid things. And if you are aware of what they're trying to do, you won't give them the reaction that they're looking for. You won't fall into states of fear and confusion, and you'll know the agenda and what they're trying to do. So the steps to get there will make much more sense to you. And you can be mentally prepared, psychologically prepared, emotionally prepared, spiritually prepared, and of course physically prepared for more of the bullshit to come. Because I hate to say it hasn't even really gotten started yet, but it hasn't. Go! So anyway, I've rambled on enough once again. And like I said, here comes more people now. So I'm going to leave it there. Hope all is well. And once again, I will be more consistent once again in making of my videos. But of course, the holidays are approaching. So, shit happens. But they will always keep coming. So anyway, I'll about leave it there. Like I said, it's crowded in here anyway. So hope all is well. And we will see you on the next one. Get learning, get speaking.
I tear my heart open, I sew myself shut. My weakness is that I care too much. And my scars remind me that the past is real. I tear my heart open just to fail. I'm drunk and I'm feeling down, and I just wanna be alone. I'm pissed cause you came around. Why don't you just go home? Cause I channeled all your pain, and I can't help you fix yourself. You're making me insane. All I can say is I tear my heart open, I sew myself shut. My weakness is that I care too much, and our scars remind us that the past is real. I tear my heart open just to fail. I tried to help you once against my own advice. I saw you going down, but you never realized that you're drowning in the water. So I offered you my hand. Compassion's in my nature. Tonight is our last day.